These are the 3 features that I would consider when choosing a new product for dropshipping. Keep in mind, these are a complement to the standard criteria such as these. And while these 3 features won't replace the list, I haven't really seen many people talk about them. So with that being said, let's get into it. Number 1, small and light. You want your products to be small and light because they're going to cost a lot less to ship. That means you're going to make higher margins because your cost of shipping isn't as high, which means more profits and more of a likelihood you're going to succeed in the long term. Jewelry is generally a good example of this. It is expensive relative to its size and weight. And with the right marketing angle, you could probably make a lot of money on it without it costing you too much to ship. The second feature is high perceived value. Now, what I mean by that is that your product is of a high perceived value compared to the actual cost of you purchasing it. So in other words, you're able to price it quite high, whereas the actual cost is quite low. That means you can spend more on advertising to acquire new customers without going out of business. Therefore, again, making you more likely to succeed in the long run. And just a quick side note on the different kinds of perceived value. In the case of jewelry, you could have the perceived value derived from, the rarity of the materials or the craftsmanship perhaps. On the other hand, you could have high perceived value from the emotional value of that said jewelry. And an example that comes to mind of that high emotional value is actually something that I've seen recently on Facebook ads where people are wearing a little vial of sand or of, liquid, whatever you want it to be, which is serving as a reminder or a memory of a place that you've been. So if you've been to a beautiful beach in Thailand for your honeymoon, you can store, a few grains of sand in that vial so that you can always carry it with you as a memory of a great time. In that case, I can imagine that the materials used to create, the vial and then the chain aren't really that expensive, but because it's of high emotional value, they can bump up the price to be quite high, which will still be, in their customers' minds, a price worth paying. Number 3, a consumable product. So what do I mean by consumable? Quickly, just something that you have to use up. Food is consumable, makeup products are usually consumable, moisturizer is consumable, so you catch my drift. Now, why is consumable important? Well, if you think about it, when your customer has used the product, they're going to have to come back to your store to buy more. What that does is it increases your customer lifetime value. When you increase your average customer's LTV, it means that you can actually spend more on customer acquisition, i.e. your advertising, which leads to a longer lasting business. Think about it this way. If you have a product that is priced at $20, you acquire a customer using Facebook ads for $15. You have spent $15 for that one customer to make the purchase. Then you are going to make pretty fine margins, right? Because let's say you don't have any cost of goods, so you're making $5 in profit. Now imagine that that customer comes back twice, 3 times. So instead of making $20, you're making $60 from the customer. Now you know that actually you could spend $25 to acquire the customer and it would still be worth it. You could even spend $30 and suddenly you can outcompete all those competitors who are only able to spend those $15 that you now know is a low ball, and you can actually spend $25, $30, $35 to acquire the customer because they're always going to come back for more. In the short term, what may seem like a loss is actually a profit in the long term. So yeah, if you have a consumable product, your customers are way more likely, if the product is good, to come back for more. And it's a lot easier to build a long-term brand because sometimes you don't even have to advertise and you'll still have recurring customers. And that's it for the 3 features I would strongly consider in choosing a new dropshipping product. Now, I just want to stress, if you find a product that you have a really good feeling about, it ticks all the boxes, but it doesn't tick these 3 boxes, that you should still go for it. It doesn't mean that it's going to fail. This is more of a 3 feature list for products where you're considering between A and B, product A and product B, you don't know which one to choose, and then, one of the products is actually consumable. Then in my opinion, I would probably go for the consumable product because it might have more longevity. And this is from my perspective, seeing all those orders come in, the shipping costs, seeing the size and the weight of different packages, you just get a different perspective when you're working as a dropshipping agent. So I thought I would share that with you. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.